You might think it's the holders. It's not actually the holder at all. It's the... This is screen cleaner. I thought it was perfume. Every once in a while we get a little bit surprised, and just like something that happens in the world, like when Will Smith literally slapped Chris Rock in the face on national TV, you didn't really know how to take it. When you saw Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems playing a not funny role, you lost yourself a little bit. And when you drive a 2013 Mazda Speed 3, you're not sure what to expect, but whatever it is that you were thinking about it, you were probably wrong. This is Rachel's 2013 Mazda Speed 3, and in today's episode of Behind the Wheel, we're gonna be taking a look at if it's actually worth dealing with the atrocious understeer, the somewhat shoddy paint depending on where you look, and nevertheless, the biggest thing of all, the fact that almost all of these come absolutely brutally modified to the point to where they're about to explode. Let's take a look and see if a Mazda Speed 3 is still a good car to actually buy. Now, obviously, the big thing with Rachel's car, besides the fact that it's like it's shiny in some places and it's not shiny in others, Rachel actually has been taking pretty decent care of this car. Okay, first things first, though, she did modify it a little bit. She went with the ESR RF15s. These are 18 by 8.5 plus 30. You got some Continental tires on it, and then she's got some Neo Max coilovers, so kind of tidies the whole thing up. She's also got a downpipe and a couple things for the exhaust, but outside of that, there's really nothing else done to this Mazda Speed 3, outside sometimes the foggy headlights and occasional lack of actually getting it washed, which is fine because we're up in Wisconsin, and what else are you gonna do in April when the weather is 32 degrees all the way up to 60 degrees and then back to 30 degrees? I'm drinking coffee at 2 o'clock in the afternoon because I don't know what the temperature is outside, but I still want to be warm. So the first thing to remember before anything else when it comes to getting in one of these cup holders. Not only is there one size cup holder, there's two size cup holders. You wanna know why? Because this car wasn't made by a European car manufacturer like BMW or Audi who doesn't know how to make cup holders to save their life. It was made by MAZDA. ZOOMZOOM, bitch. It was the most reliable car manufacturer literally to come out with fun cars that didn't cost an absolute $1 million, and they know how to make some damn cup holders, which is very exciting. Now, the second best thing about this car is that it is surprisingly clean. I feel like it may have been staged. All right, let's go for a drive. Now, the first thing to remember before you get into a new car, ladies and gentlemen, is not to adjust the seat. It is not to change the climate control. It is not to press the outdated touchscreen that's gonna exist in any car from the late mid-2000s. It is to immediately check the quality of the button thingy on the e-brake. You can definitely tell where the quality has a tendency to maybe escape the Mazda Speed 3. Now, before we actually do what we're supposed to do, which is give you a review on the car, let's make sure we're in the right gear. That's neutral. Gonna just do it one more time. All right, and we're off. Okay. Going into a Mazda Speed 3, probably just right out of the bat, you're not gonna have a bad time. Mazda Speed 3s, when they came out way back in, I believe it was 2007, they had two major portions, 2007 to 2009, which was their Gen 1, and then they had 2010 to, I believe, 2013 as a Gen 2, and they were great cars. I mean, when these cars came out, they were extremely popular in the modification scene. Like, the aftermarket community loved these cars, still do. A lot of people will still say that these are fantastic cars. They came with a little bit above, about 280-ish, I think, horsepower, 260-ish foot-pounds of torque, right about that, which gave it a lot of good power. Gen 1 suffered from some issues. A lot of that had to do with heat soak, some VVT stuff. You had the turbo seals go out pretty regularly on the cars because they got pretty warm. They had some reliability issues in the long run because they were really trying to produce as much power in this tiny little 4-cylinder turbo as possible. That was in the first gen. Then the second gen came out, which is this one. This is one of the you know, soonest, one of the freshest One of the best versions of a Mazda Speed 3 that you can actually get is this one, 2013 Mazda Speed 3, 6-speed manual. I actually do love the color of this car too. And Mazda Speed 3s, solid cars. The real question is are they still any good with solving their understeer issue? And for those that are wondering, this is front wheel drive. It's not all wheel drive, it is front wheel drive, it is wrong wheel drive, it is whatever joke you want to make. It is using the power of its limited slip differential to try and keep the car going in a straight direction using its front wheels. Rachel said I can do this, so we're gonna do it. It's really not that bad, but we should turn traction control off and see if we go into a ditch or talk to a cow. First initial impressions, I've been in a Mazda Speed 3 before, actually. Rachel has a significant other who also has, or had one. It was black. We did a review on it and we compared it to a Mini Cooper. Very similar interior. I mean, it's not bad in any way, shape, or form. Mazda's always done a really good job with kind of like keeping everything balanced in the car. They put a little bit of money into the engine. They put a little bit of money into the reliability. They put a little bit of money all over, so you don't really notice if they slouched on something. That's why you got to do the old e-brake finger test, because then you can see if it's metal or not metal. Now, I do like the way this thing sounds. I do love the way that it drives. Sure, you know, it's a 2013. Sometimes people get a little weird about that, because when you think about it, that's 9 years old now. But it pulls pretty nice. You know, you gotta get used to the fact that it's front wheel drive. I gotta turn this down. Where's the button? You get your little boost gauge right in the middle of the instrument cluster. Right now I'm at no boost. Oh God, something in the road. 0. We're turning hard, Steve. Buckle up. That's my favorite part about a front wheel drive car though. Oh, is that feeling? Sure, there's a little bit of understeer, but is it really that big of a deal? I don't think so. There's just a little bit of that edge in the way that Mazda builds their cars, which does make it a very fun car to drive. It's not boring, which Volkswagen does have a tendency to suffer from. Even when we drove the Golf R just a couple episodes ago, it was fun, but it was still controlled. It still feels like it's not trying to make you sad or shocked. It's just trying to still be a car. Mazda still has a really good time with their cars to try and make you feel like it's living and breathing and it's trying to take you off the road because the power's going to the wrong freaking wheels. I don't know what BSM or AFS is. You thought I was turning. Don't tell Rachel. That part always hurts, and I don't care how much of a car enthusiast you are, when you hear that, it still just hits something in your soul that makes you feel a certain way. It is a little odd that the icon for traction control looks smushed. Like, it legitimately looks like somebody was in Photoshop and took the image of traction control being off and made it just a little bit too stubby. Let's try it again. That was a test. You can smell the tire. Don't tell Rachel. With the Mazda Speed 3, the best thing that you're gonna get out of the car is bang for buck. Mazda Speed 3s, fantastic bang for buck cars. You can't go wrong with them. They're great power. They're a lot of fun. The hatch is actually really good. You get a good chunk of space, and in addition to that, you get a good amount of space for your back passenger seats. The seats are also really nice. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. I would say the biggest thing that I'm having a little bit of a tough time with, quite honestly, is just that dang front wheel drive like platform. It's just different. So what about the Mazda 3 Speed thing makes it so good? Well, I mean, it is a really good car in all the right ways, but when you compare it to some of the newer stuff, sometimes it just doesn't fit the bill. It's close in almost everything. That's why we gave it a 6 on the interior, a 5 on the exterior, a 5 on performance, and a 4 on modification, specifically, again, to this car. That gives us a 20 out of 40, and if the car was a movie, it would be Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, and if the car was a one-liner, it would be your older brother that's been to jail. The car itself is a fantastic platform, and this specific one is likely under-modified and clean because of it. And if you go into going something crazy with the Mazda Speed 3, it can probably do it for you. You just have to be careful with the fact that it is front-wheel drive, and all the power that you throw at it sometimes starts to lose grip, literally and figuratively, as you climb up that range. But let us know what you think about the Mazda Speed 3 in the comment section below. And of course, if you're looking for wheels, tires, suspension, be sure to check us out over at fitmentindustries.com. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries, and if anything else, please don't tell Rachel. We will see you later. Peace.